Hey, welcome to Trap Souls Podcast. I am here with Next Stop Paranormal, T, one of the members of the group from the land down under, as we call it, from Australia. So, how's Australia doing?
Today it's actually a hot day, so we're doing all right. We've had some crazy weather, but yeah, no, it's not bad.
Not bad. So, what part of Australia are you actually from?
So myself, I'm originally from Sydney, New South Wales, from the western suburbs. I moved up to Newcastle, New South Wales, so it's about 2 hours up the coast from Sydney,
Okay.
and that's where I reside. And then the other part of the group, the other three girls, my partner is also part of our group. Obviously, we live together. But the other three girls are in the western suburbs of Sydney. So it's kind of like my little link to home.
Really, Tom. So, how many's in your group?
We currently have five.
Five.
We currently have five, and we're all girls. And I know everyone thinks that would be a bit crazy at times, and yes, it is. But they're just five of us girls at the moment. So, and then we do have like some people who moderate for us, like when we go live on TikTok and things like that as well. So, one of our moderators is actually in England, and another one is one of our mates up here in Newcastle as well. So, but five of us investigate, yeah.
That's nice. So, I do have to ask one question because it always pops up on your Facebook. What is up with the couch?
Sorry?
What's up with the couch?
The
You guys,
couch. Are you talking the picture?
yeah, because you guys are always seeing.
Yeah, it always comes up. We've had questions about the couch. So that couch is actually at one of the locations we investigate.
Okay.
And it was really funny because it was coming into Christmas, and we didn't know when we went to do this investigation in November that Christmas lights have been set up throughout this whole thing. And a couch had been put in, and I've never seen this said couch before when we've investigated here. And my partner was the one like, guys, we need to get a photo in front of this couch. And we're all like, people are going to be like, what's with the couch? And I'm like, oh, well, let's just do it. It's a point of discussion, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it's literally just an antique couch that's been
Okay.
placed into the School of Arts. We don't know why. There was no like, hey, guys, we've got a new piece of furniture. It was just there. But everyone loves it. Like, we sit on it throughout, like, the investigation, and it's just really comfy. But it's just like literally a couch has just been put into one of the locations.
Yeah, I was scrolling through your pictures. I'm like, there's the couch. There's the couch. I'm like, there has to be something with this couch. Like,
Yeah, so which is funny because like when we actually like a few of us sat on it to do like Estes and a spirit box session, and when like not myself, it was mainly Linda and no, sorry, it was Ash and Alyssa. When they sat on this couch, like it felt like people were like just sitting down and like putting their hand on your knee, and they're just like, it's tripping me out. And I'm like, just roll with it, guys, roll with it. Let's see where this goes. So I'd say it would be just brought in probably from an antique store, maybe an op shop. You never know. We don't
yeah.
always get the background of why they put like pieces of furniture in. So, but it was interesting to see them squirm when the blindfold was on, and they're like brushing their knee and pushing something away that wasn't there. So yeah, but the couch was a very centerpiece because it's on the stage of the School of Arts where we do a lot of our spirit box session, and use a lot of our equipment is on the stage. So that's the reason why there's a said couch in a lot of photos.
Australia wise, what like paranormal? Like when we think paranormal in the United States, we think, United States and UK.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, what do you have going on over there?
Yeah, look, that's an interesting question because I've had this discussion with people before, and they're like, but you're a tiny little island, but we're a tiny little island with a lot of history. We're talking, from our First Nations people all the way through to like, colonization, convicts. And we do have a lot of history in this tiny little island. So, we've had asylums built when the gold rush took off. People lost their minds over trying to find gold and, trying to get that get rich quick schemes and things like that. So we needed asylums built to house people who were deemed a lunatic. And we have old hospitals. We've also got convict built buildings as well. So we've got like a huge history. The only thing is that some of our buildings, like our historical buildings, actually, instead of them just going dilapidated or just going to ruin, businesses will move in. So it might become heritage listed, but a business will move into that building and actually run their business from these heritage buildings, so they don't go to like shambles. But we do have like our old jails, our old asylums. We've got schools of art that were built in the 1800s. We've got old homesteads that were built in the 1800s. You've also got like Old Government House. We investigated Old Government House on a tour through Appy, who is another touring company, amazing people. But Old Government House is a convict-built building, and it's now heritage listed as a UNESCO heritage listed site. So we do have a very colonial convict past, and a lot of our buildings are there, and some have been demolished, unfortunately, or they've left to ruin and they're no longer there. But yeah, we've got a lot to offer. We've even got, like, if we're talking about infectious disease, you've got Q Station, which was built at North Head near Manly in Sydney, and that was to help fight or stop infectious disease coming into the colony of Sydney in 1832. It was established, and it started as little tents and then built into the thing that's there. So we have a lot, but I suppose it's not as broadcasted or as put out there as what America and UK do, because let's face it, you guys have some really big places over in those locations. So, but we do have quite a bit.
That's just because we have more crazy people. That's all. I mean, that's.
Well, I don't know about that one. See, like we have, we just done Aradale Asylum and Beechworth Asylum, also known as Mayday Hill, and that was so Aradale was in operation for, what did I say, over 126 years with 13,000. Now we're talking 13,000 reported deaths of inmates, patients, and staff. And then you also had Beechworth, which had a reported 9,000 deaths, built in 1867. And both of those were closed in the 90s. So our asylums went from 1800s through to the 90s. So that had a lot of history and a lot of trap souls, let's put it that way. It's just crazy to think, you think in the 90s I was like 12, 13, and I wouldn't have put that piece of puzzle together.
No, I mean, yeah, you talk about history. Maybe United States and UK, we just publicize it more.
Yeah,
with TV and everything. Do you guys have any TV shows over there that do paranormal? Or
yeah, look, we did. We had I think it was Ghost Hunters Australia or Ghost Hunters International did an Australian based TV show, and they went to Elizabeth Street, Quarantine Station. We also have Cockatoo Island that featured on there, but we don't have things such as your Ghost Adventures or Haunt TV, which were our group obsessed with Haunt TV, but we don't have as big of TV show based about the Australian paranormal, which would be amazing. A lot of ours is through YouTube and the social media platforms that you see more of what Australia has to offer, which kind of stumped me, because I'm we have some really great locations. It would be cool to see a TV show.
Yeah.
Go to these places, and we do have a lot of American, streamers and investigators come over and do these locations, but still we haven't really had a lot of TV shows. So the only one I'm sure of was that, like I said, I think it was called Australia's Most Haunted, or Ghost Hunters International did an Australian TV show for that. But it's pretty wild we don't have it, because it would showcase so much that we do have to offer. So it's I would love to see it happen in fruition, like get us the shows to show the rest of the world what we have to offer. We have some like amazing Australian YouTubers as well,
Okay.
who do go to these locations, and they do investigate them. So what I always say to people is, if you want to see what Australia has to offer from Australian paranormal investigators, just jump on YouTube, type in Australian Paranormal Team, and like literally the teams just come up and they go to these places. You know what I mean? Like they will show you in Beechworth, they'll show you Arradale. That's something ourselves this year in 2026 are going to branch into, because people are like, well, why aren't you guys YouTubing? Like, we want to see what you're doing, not just photos and like snippet videos. And we didn't realize that we totally just zoned out and didn't think about that. So that's something we're going to go into as well. But there is some amazing, amazing Australian groups out there that I always tell everyone, hey, just literally jump on YouTube, type in Australian Paranormal Team, and you would be amazed. And that's how, we would have to get it out without the big networks pushing for it.
Well, I mean, a lot now, those big networks, I mean, there's only a couple of shows on there. A lot of people are going to YouTube. So,
yeah.
I always do this in my investigations now, is send someone in solo in the beginning and just go through and show the building, not really investigate, but just show the building. And I mean, that might be something you guys can do, because we've never seen that building before. So it'd be interesting to me. And
which is really funny, because we do that, but we never thought to put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so we had like we call it a team meeting. It's not really a team meeting. It's just us girls sitting around talking paranormal. But we're like, guys, why are we not YouTubing this? Why are we not showing like the location, and we're just showing photos? Like we should be showing, how we do baselines, how we do, EMF readings to make sure there's no environmental aspects coming into our, techniques, and how we could go about setting up and what the location's about, and give the history, because we do that on our lives, but we never thought, hey, let's record it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So that's something we're definitely going to do this year. It's just we're having a break, like I said, and January is my time to shine, where I'm going to start getting the locations booked in and get things happening like that for us. So, but it's definitely, I 100% agree with you. It would be interesting to show people the location with a walkthrough.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the more I get into paranormal and doing investigations, it's more about the building and the history than really the investigation itself. It's we got one question, but that was just seeing something from Australia would interest me, and just you walking around and saying, hey, this is, haunted and was whatever. I mean, that's what I like to see, but I'm just one person. So
well, no, like we totally agree with you, right? So we love the paranormal, love everything about the paranormal, but we're mad history buffs as well. So if we're going to go to a location, what my biggest thing is, what was that location used for? What come out of that location? Who built that location? I want to know the architect. Was it convict built? Do you know what I mean? We want to know the background to the location. In regards to the hauntings and things that happen in there, I like to tell people, please just don't tell us. Like, confirm it at the end. Like, let us experience that. But we still like to know, what that location's about. Like, how did that location come about? How was it used for what it was used for? So where, like myself, I go mad. Like, if like weeks before, I'm researching, I'm going to the library, I'm going to state archives, I'm looking at different newspaper clippings just to find as much as I can out about a location.
Sounds cool. So Elisa has a question. What was your most impacting experience?
Oh, that's really funny, because I'm always one if someone gets scared, I don't run. I like run away. I run to it.
Yeah.
But we just have finished doing. We went to Aradale Asylum, so that's where there's reported 13,000 deaths, built in the 1800s to house a certain amount of people. We're talking about, convulsive electric therapy. We're talking about solitary confinement, salt boxing, you name it. Everything happened at this asylum. So we went to the asylum. All was, you get to the doors of this asylum, and once you cross that threshold, it's like a different world. Like this feeling comes over you, and you're like, oh, we're not in Kansas anymore. Like it's just, you can feel it. It's so ominous. And literally as you're driving up, the road snakes up like this. And then it opens up and literally it says Aradale. And the L is like literally hung like a horror story, right? So we've gone in and I saw a lot, but my brain, I'm like a skeptical believer. Like I like to try and make sense of it. Can I debunk that happening before I go, oh, that's 100% paranormal? I'm like, okay, was that a light? Was that a car horn? Were there people walking upstairs? Like I'm trying to debunk things. So we get to what was known as the staff accommodation, because the staff had a 3-story accommodation at the back of the asylum. So the first floor, no problem. Second floor is where our tour guide Jasmine, she took us there. And I don't know if you guys have done this experiment, but where you set up live cameras on a floor and then you by yourself decide to go walk the floor while everyone is watching you on the cameras below. So on the second floor, Jasmine said to us, like, you're getting a lantern, you walk 2 flights of stairs, walk across the 3rd floor, through the other hospital doors, back down to the 2nd floor. Usually I'm like grabbing that lantern to go first. She's like, all right, who wants to go first? And I blanked out. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And all the girls in the group, like Alyssa, Ash, and Linda, looked at me and they're like, what? You're not going to do it? And I'm like, nah, I don't think I want to. Like everything in me was like, don't go on the 3rd floor. Don't go on the 3rd floor. So anyway, I was about 4th. So Alyssa did the first round. She did come back down and she's like, I don't want to talk about it. Let's not talk about it till you go up and do it. So my turn come. And I've got this lantern and I just remember walking, because it's hospital doors to go through each floor, both sides. I've opened the hospital doors to the 2nd floor to ascend the stairs. And I opened the door, and as soon as I opened the door, the lantern was like shaking. It was just pure fear. And I haven't had that in many, many years. So I get to the 3rd floor, and you've got to open the hospital doors to walk through. So I've opened the hospital doors and I refuse to look straight ahead. I was like, I don't know why I'm not looking straight ahead. So I walked in and there's doors as you're walking along, because it's accommodation. So you've got multiple doors on the hallway, and it felt like the hallway just kept stretching, like one of those horror movies that, just keeps going and going. And I got halfway and there's like I don't know if it's an old like fireplace or like a chimney or something, but I froze. I just froze, and everything in me was like, don't look up, don't look up. So I thought, well, I can't stand here forever. So as I've looked up, the hospital doors at the end, they open like out. I've looked up and there's a accommodation doorway to the left, and what I was trying to figure out in my head was it was a black mist come out of the doorway, stopped, and then in front of the hospital doors, it started to go up and form a shape. And I was like, no, this isn't happening. Like, I'm tired. Like, there's smoke coming on from outside. Maybe there's an old pipe that's created condensation. Like, my brain's now starting to go, we've got to figure this out. Why is this happening? So as this shape's forming, my legs were stuck like glue and I wanted to run. And I don't run. I'm just like, listen, I'm getting too old for this and I don't have the physique to be Usain Bolt out of this location, right? So I'm standing there and I'm watching this form, and it formed to the perfect shape of like a 6-foot high shadow person. And I was just like, oh no, I had to physically walk through that to get back to the 2nd floor. And I was very lucky because I started to say a few choice words that I'm not going to say here because I literally was starting to pack it. And I was very lucky because Alyssa from our group was on the other side and she heard everything that was going on. So she's swung open the hospital doors. As she did, it was like, poof, it went and it just disappeared. She's linked arms with me and she's like, you've got to go forward. That's the only choice you've got right now. We're going forward. She goes, I know what you saw because I saw it. She goes, but I wasn't going to tell you because you were already in a state of mind before coming up. So she linked arms with me, and as we're walking, this thing's formed again in front of the door. She literally grabbed it, pushed it. I watched it go into the other room, and we walked downstairs. When I got to the second floor, I was just in a state. I'm like, that floor needs a PDA. Like, you need to sign a warning statement to go up there. And I actually had to get taken out of the building because I was shaking, like I was beside myself. And once I got out of the building, I was fine. It's like nothing happened. And the girls in the group were like, what in the world happened? Like, you're the person who will just run at things because you're like, I need to get a photo, I need a video, I need this. They're like, you just literally froze. We've never seen you freeze. We've never seen you lose color. And I'm just like, I don't want to talk about it. But when we went back in, and we went to the second floor, people actually said to me, what you had seen up there, we watched form on the camera. So they actually saw it forming as I'm seeing it forming upstairs. Yeah. And it blew my mind because for me, I'm trying to rationalize and debunk something that's going on. And then I didn't say to them, this is what I saw. They turned around and said to me, are you okay? Because this is what we saw on the floor. And then I confirmed once they had told me what they saw. And we saw the exact same thing at the exact same time. And the only problem is that camera, while everyone was talking about it while it was going on, no one thought to record it. So now it is an experience that I can only confirm with other people who've seen it. But that, hands down, I say, has been my most fearful experience I've experienced within the past 10 years. So I can't give answers to people why it happened. It's just that floor is known for an entity that is quite dark in nature. I don't like to say demonic, but he's not nice. He's very malevolent. He will make you feel like you're the size of an ant, because that's how I felt. I felt like, Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. Like, I went to this size, like a little pea. But in saying that, it's something we want to go back to. Will all of us go back in that building? Probably not. Am I the crazy one who's going to? Probably. So, that's definitely my most one that made me go, oh, yeah. And it left me having nightmares for about 2 weeks after. And I had to sage myself and do some blessings to get rid of it because it lingered, like it just affected me. So, yeah.
It's weird. I mean, I'm kind of like you. I like running towards stuff. So when something like that does happen, I guess it just kind of pisses you off. It makes it a challenge. Like, you want to go back there. Like, we have a place up in Ohio that we've had stuff happen. And I just want to go back. I don't know if it's calling me back or like it's to the point where maybe I just want to go down to this place, do a solo. And yeah. I'm like, it's probably going to be stupid of me to do this, but I might do it. I'm like, everybody's like, no, that's stupid. Because there's been known groups that go in there that will never step foot in there again.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's the same as this place. Yeah.
Yeah. But challenge accepted, right? I mean, it's time to go.
Yeah, exactly. But I went and did the floor again by myself that same night because I'm like, no, you're not going to have one over me. Yeah. And it wasn't so much I wanted to challenge it. I just wanted to take my own power back. So I was like, no, I'm doing this. And I did do it and I was fine. But mind you, the legs were shaking, the knees were knocking. But I still went and did it. But yeah, I agree with you. It's like a pull, but when I'm getting pulled to, I don't know about yourself, but when I'm getting pulled to a location, I'm also very precautious why that pull is happening. So I go in with my guards up, and the group get their guards up and be like, all right, we've got to kind of protect ourselves, because why is this pull happening? Why is this incessant need to go back occurring? So we're very precautious at times like that.
Yeah, I don't think you're challenging the entity, you're challenging yourself. Like,
yeah,
it's just, personal competition, I guess. Like, you're not going to beat me. Like, I'm still going to go do this. You want to make sure you're, was Aaron asked, has there been time maybe you shouldn't be doing this? And I'm assuming that would be your most fearful time, but did you ever question yourself? Like, why am I doing this?
Like at the time, or just in general?
In general.
In general. Look, there has been times that, and that's just I'd say a human reaction. Like, you think, why am I doing this? Like, why am I putting myself in this predicament? Why am I putting myself in these situations? And that human, need to know about the unknown kicks in. But then as well, like, I've been around this since I was a baby. Like, I never got the option to just tap out and be like, oh, I don't want to see that. Like, my mum was obsessed. And when I mean obsessed, like obsessed with old Victorian houses, old convict built houses. I grew up in haunted homes. And I'd be having a conversation to Gladys, but Gladys is not living in our house as a living person. And my mum was very open with it and being like, look, we live in an old home. People will talk to you, my family, like my great-grandmother used to read tea leaves and was a very, very intuitive woman. So I never really got to tap out at a young age. And as I got older, and I think like every human, we're like, well, what's on the other side of the veil? Like, why did I see this as a kid? Or why am I experiencing these things? And I've lived in haunted homes my whole life, even my house now. But it has come up. It has come up where I'm like, do you know what? I think I'm done. And then something will happen or something will pique my interest. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'm not done. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I've got a little bit more in me. And I just realized this is something that I love. It's my passion. It's what drives me. And I love that NSP isn't just for us. We always say we are doing it, but we're taking you on the journey because we want people to interact with us. We want people to share their stories in a safe place where they're not going to get judged. And there is still a lot of judgment around people interacting with spirits, like, that's ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. So people reach out to us and we genuinely care and we genuinely want to speak to people. And if I shut NSP down and I was like, I'm done with it, I'm taking away other people's safe places as well. So with the passion and the love we have for what we do, and we love spending time together, we're all friends in the group. I would take that away from all of us, and I'm just not willing to do that, especially when it's something that's ingrained in me. Like, I love doing it and I love sharing it. But there's been times, and there is one place that I will never ever go back to. It's only one place, one cemetery, and I will never go back there. And and I've made that my rule. Like, no, it's not happening. So there is times where I do check out of places, but checking out altogether, not an option.
And I mean, just for everybody out there, checking out a place is not taking up the challenge or quitting. It's just, you got to follow your instincts, your body. Like, it ain't worth it. That's
it. And it's not because of the dead that are there. It's the living.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And the living caused a lot of problems, and it became too dangerous. And I just went, well, I'm not putting myself or my team in that predicament. So we just, like our saying is, we're more afraid of the living than we are of the dead. Yeah. So yeah, we just won't do it. And that's the thing. And I think sometimes I hear people call people sooks or wussy, or, you know, you're a baby, you won't go in there. But you got to realize, like, if someone goes into somewhere and they have a reaction and it's not good for them, or it's good for their soul or their physical or mental well-being, why force them to do it?
Yeah.
So we're like, no, we come up as a team and say, no, we will not go back to that cemetery. We never disclose that location of that cemetery either, because it has been desecrated and it is still used. So we don't disclose that location for the safety and the well-being of other people, and hopefully for the souls to get some peace. But yeah, it's not good. So we just won't go back.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple of investigations we went on, and you know, I just getting a feeling in there. I just said no one's doing solos tonight. You know,
Yeah.
And I'm a huge solo person. I try to push everybody to do solos because I believe it's big in the paranormal field. But there's one location, and I'm like, yeah, just no one's doing solos tonight. Like, I just don't feel comfortable sending someone. Like, well, I go do it probably, but I just don't. You know, when you're running a team, it's their safety, and you're responsible for them. So,
yeah,
I mean, there are instances. I mean, we have to go with our gut feeling. That's what the paranormal is. You know, when you're investigating. Man, you jumped on the bucket list already. Do you have a bucket list place that you one? I'll give you two. You can pick two.
Okay, two.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. So my bucket list, because if you ask the girls in the group, everyone has a different bucket list, right? So I've recently ticked off two of my bucket lists, which was Beechworth and Arrowdale Asylum. Okay. So now I've got to create another bucket list. But Waverley Hills is on mine. I know, like, people talk about it, you know, oh, it's been done so many times and da-da-da-da-da, but it's always intrigued me since I was a kid. And the second one would be the Hellfire Club in England.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, definitely Hellfire Club.
Yeah,
I've never been to Waverly. It's like 2.5 hours south of me.
Yeah.
So that's how I list this year, is to do that. So.
And if you do, we will be watching, because I watch everything to do with it. I love it. But they're like our overseas. Like, for me, they're two places I would love to get in. There's other places in America, and like, we do not have enough time for me to go through my bucket list of America, because you guys are huge and you got so much that I'm just like, take me everywhere. Just let me live over there for like 4 years, and I want to do it all. But each of the girls have different places. Like, there's also Leap Castle in England, or Leap, depends how you want to say it. The Edinburgh Tunnels in Scotland, Big Ben, the tower in England. Yeah, I know, right? I'm just like, okay, guys, cool. Then, like, I recently come back from Singapore, and I was telling the group about our old Changi Hospital, and they're like, we got to go. And I'm like, okay. So, like, you know, things come up, we find out about different countries, and everyone's like, oh, let's go. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, we'll just go to the money tree out the backyard.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. But all four of us had on our bucket list for Australia, Beechworth and Arrowdale. So we got to do that, and we were so happy. And if we're talking about Australia's bucket list, like, that's overseas, Australia's bucket list is to do Port Arthur in Tasmania. That is definitely on the bucket list. And Willow Court Asylum in Tasmania, which we are, fingers crossed, hoping above all hope that we get to do this year. I've just got to have a chat and work some logistics out of who's available when, and, you know, timing is perfection. So they're our bucket list, hopefully, to get done this year.
No, Lee Castle is like always one of my top ones I wanted to do, but I guess I have a problem. Not a problem. I love dark basements.
Yeah.
Like, for some reason they creep me out. So, like, Hellfire Tunnels, you know, anything that's like, I've always wanted the catacombs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I always tell people, I hate flashlights too, but give me a flashlight and a recorder. I'll go to the catacombs. Just lock me down there.
Yeah.
I'll probably crap myself, but lock me down there.
Just don't get lost. A lot of people get lost in that place. Hey.
Yeah. Aaron, want to know when you guys are starting tours?
Oh, look, that is the hot topic at the moment. The very hot topic. We are hoping to get some tours happening this year. I have to obviously have chats with the locations owners, because we don't just have owners over here. We have like committees and board members and volunteers who run said locations. So it's about reaching out and saying, hey, do you mind if we do this? So there will be some release this year. I'll be releasing them. I'll launch it on our social media and things, and also on our website. So I've just got to have a few more conversations, because as we are having holidays, so are these locations. So I probably won't be able to get anything out till maybe late January or February at this stage, because it just depends when they all come back. Some people are back late Jan, some are not till February. But keep an eye out on the socials. As soon as we organise, it will be on there.
All right. Another person asked, equipment wise, like, what's your go-to equipment?
For me, give me a K2, a torch, a cat ball, and a REM pod, and I am home. I do like the spirit box as well, but they're like my go-tos. But we've got like heaps. Like we've got like trip wires, we've got sensor cars, because I thought it would be hilarious to get the girls a Barbie car that's censored. So it's literally this little Jeep of a Barbie, and like if the spirit goes to grab it, it's obviously got the sensor and it moves. So I thought that was funny. We've got a doll's head as a REM pod that I named Frankie, that the girls hate, which actually got broken on one of our investigations. Like literally the spirit went up, just grabbed it and cracked the head off the plate. So I was like, okay, that's great. Need to fix that. But I always tell everyone, if like your digital, your voice recorders, that is always in everyone. All four of us, or all five of us, have one of these in our pockets. A K2, because like I like to know if there's electrical around, is that interfering with what I'm getting?
Yeah.
So K2 cat ball, but on a stand, because if it moves, I want to know it's been pushed off said stand and thrown. But you don't need to be paying thousands, and yourself. You're your biggest asset on an investigation. If something doesn't feel right, go with it. If something feels right, if it's telling you to go, you're getting pulled into a location or pulled into a room, or, you want to lay on a morgue table, which I always do, do it. Follow your own gut, because you're your biggest instrument. So we rely a lot on our intuition. But we do have all, the bells and whistles that everyone has. But, hey, you can't have enough of it, right? And I have told my partner this. Just, I need this. She's like, no, is it a need or is it a want? And I'm like, no, it's a need.
I talk about going with your instincts. Have you ever you felt like a spirit like steer you the wrong way to like get you away from them?
Yeah. Aradale. I'm a very calm person. As you can tell, I like to have a joke and a laugh. But I got to the gates of Aradale and I was just so angry. Like I was PO'd more than you could ever imagine. And I was shaking with anger. And we had to go to this hexagon building where they ran art therapy in Aradale. And as the tour guide is explaining, I've just walked off. I'm like, see ya, I've checked out. That conversation's done. So I've walked off to the other side of the building and everyone's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I just need to be here, like here. Don't come near me. Don't talk to me. And the group was like, that's not her. And then, like I snapped out of it 30 minutes later, and all it took was Ash in the group coming over, putting a hand on my shoulder and going, T, this isn't you, what's wrong? And I snapped out of it. But literally it was like I was being led by my well, not my emotions, like someone's anger. It was just like, oh, I don't want to be here. I want to be here. Rah, 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 rah. And it also happened in Parramatta Jail, old Parramatta Jail, that I went on a tour with Appy. And Appy are another paranormal group based in New South Wales. And we were going through the old hospital ward. But instead of me going through the hospital ward, I walked around the outside of the building and met them at the other end. And they're like, weren't you behind us? And I'm like, yeah, I thought so. But like, I thought you took me here. So I thought I heard someone go, come this way. So I've gone, oh, okay. And I've turned around and out the hospital door and went around the building. So like, that's tripped me out. Like a few times that's happened. And I'm like, oh, but, you know, or you get like what, a mimic who's like, oh, come, like without talking, they're like, and it looks like your tour guide. So you're like, oh, okay, we've got to go this way. And you start following this person, but your guide's over that way. So you're like, what, hey, what's going on here? So has happened.
I mean, that's tricky because is it a good spirit trying to steer you away from a bad spirit? Like you shouldn't go in there, so come this way. Or is it a bad spirit telling you, follow me, I got something for you?
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, luckily, all the times I've experienced being told get away from, like, or come this way, it's been relatively good. Because Parramatta Jail is where I heard my first growl ever, and it was in my face, and it was so hot and stunk. Oh, it smelled rotten egg. It's horrendous. But I heard a growl in front of my face, and then the next time where I got told, don't go through here, go this way, was the same place I got growl. So it must have, I'm putting it down to someone going, let's not and say we did. So,
yeah.
Well, what's funny is the weirdest EVP I'd say I've ever got off a piece of equipment was the hunting, I've gone blank. The hunting cameras, you know, the ones you strap to trees. We have them set up as well as GoPros and just video cameras. We've got them set up so that if it gets triggered, there's a photo. And I've actually got like an EVP on that where it's triggered and it started recording a video, and you can clearly hear like spirit talking in it over us talking. And I was like, I've never had that on these ever. And that happened at the School of Arts that we investigate like we've investigated that twice a year. So that's really cool. But I've heard it happening a lot. Like, you're not the first person who said, like, our video recorder is picking, or our video camera is picking up a lot more than our digital voice recorder. You're asking them questions. The funniest time I've ever had is I was asking questions like at one of our locations. And this was an old council chamber, and I'm just like asking questions, and I'm firing them off, and then I just get, ugh. And I'm like, I heard the ugh, and I was like, shut up. And I was like, okay then, duly noted. So we tried a different experiment instead, but it's just, I find humor in it as well, because like they're not afraid to let you know how they're feeling sometimes, and it cracks me up.
What do we have? Aaron asks, have you ever been followed home or felt an entity in your own home?
I do have entities in my own home that didn't follow me. We brought a home that was built in the early 80s, was it? 60s. Just had to check with my partner because I didn't pay attention to that. So built in the early 60s, and we renovated this home from top to bottom. Basically, it could have been a tear down and rebuild, but anyway, after renovating, I started to notice someone sort of flicking around the rooms, and I just ignored it because I'm like, whatever. I'm so used to it from a kid, whatever. And for some reason, we've called him Harry, and he's just mischievous. Like, he'll turn my fan on, he'll turn a light on, he even turns my PlayStation on. He knows my daily routine. So like, and my mum passed away a week before I turned 40 last year, in June, and she's definitely around. So I just it's something I've lived with my whole life, and, whatever. They're there. As long as they're not nasty or want to cause harm to anyone, I'm just like, well, you do you, boo. Like, I'm not going to kick you out,
Yeah.
Have I brought anything home from an investigation? Not in a long time, because we have, so when we finish an investigation, whether it is we're going on someone else's tour, we're doing our own tour, we're doing a private house, or we're going just out to locations to find, going to a convict-built bridge, whatever. When we are finished, we actually close it down. So we have a close down procedure that we do now. But I have stupidly, and I will admit, I make mistakes. I'm human. I went to a location that was quite haunted. It was an old courthouse, and I did not do my closing down. So I usually say a spill, like, you won't follow me home, communication severed, I'd like to thank my ancestors, blah, blah. It's this whole big thing. I didn't do it that night, and I brought something home that when I would leave the house and my partner would be home by herself, would call out to my partner and be like, hey, babe. And she'd call me and be like, you home? And I'm like, no. I'm an hour and a half away from our house. And she's like, you called my name, and our dogs reacted thinking you were home. They started barking and running to the back door. So I have brought something home. I had to get rid of it because I was the one who brought it in. I'm the one to get it out. But I haven't in a long time. But accidents happen. You're human error. But I'm very precautious now. So, I open up and I close. So it's something that is part of NSP now that we must do at the end of any kind of investigation.